Yesterday at Adaptable Tools, we were delighted to welcome on board a new client of Adaptable, our AG Grid extension, a very, very large financial services client. And there was one particular use case that got them over the line, so to speak. So, in the hope that other people might be looking for something similar, or it might resonate with some use cases you have, I thought I would describe it here in this video. And essentially, it's the creation and sharing at runtime of limit alerts. So what do we mean by that? So as I said, well, it's really a two-stage process. First, I'll show how you can create a limit alert, and then I'll show how you can share it. So a limit alert is essentially when you want to know kind of I breach my limits. Is the sum of a particular set of columns greater than a given value? So let me show you what that means. It's easier to understand. So we will create an alert here. Sorry, the other thing I'm going to say is I've got two users. This is Alice. This is her grid where you can see she's got this format column. And then we have another user, Bob, who has a completely different grid, different theme, different format column. So they're not currently sharing state. They're looking at the same data, but they've got their own individual state, a very typical use case. So Alice comes along and she will create this limit alert. So what she will do is she will create a new alert. It's an aggregation alert because it looks at multiple columns. And what it says is, I want to know if all, for instance, now obviously this is not a financial grid, it would typically be P&L or price or notional or whatever. But here we're just going to say, tell me if all the stargazers count is going to be greater than 5 million. And in fact, let's do a where clause. Let's say where the language is equal to, let's make it JavaScript because there's more of those, I think, in the thing. So what we've said here is we've said if all my stargazers count, that's this column here, the GitHub stars column, is greater than 5 million. For those where language is JavaScript, I want an alert. I'd like that to be a warning, and let's maybe have a notification so we can see. So that's the alert. So now what that means is if I go to a JavaScript column and I change this here enough to trigger the alert, I get my alert here because I breached my limits. If I go to Bob, I now see the new value, but if Bob triggers the alert, nothing will happen because Bob obviously doesn't have the alert that Alice created. So what can Alice do? So she, now at runtime, is able to share this with Bob. So there's no need for any downtime. There's no need for any development teams to get involved. She can simply go to the alert that she just created, which is here, and she can share it. She might want to give it a name. So she might want to say 5 million JavaScript stars. Okay. I won't go into the whole active snapshot. There's a whole load of other things obviously you can do in team sharing, but the main thing is that alert has now been shared, which now means that when I go back to Bob, I can go into team sharing, and there we are. I can see the alert that Alice just created at 8:46. I can expand to see more details. There's the AdapTableQL, sum of GitHub stars is greater than 5 million where the language is JavaScript, and with what it will look like. Yes, Bob decides he would like that. He will now apply that. That's now successfully imported. And now Bob, at runtime, can go into a line where there's JavaScript, trigger the alert, and then obviously he gets it as well. So essentially what has happened here is Alice has created an alert to look at changing data. Now obviously I've edited the data directly, but in the real world this would be ticking data and it would all work exactly the same. So Alice has created an alert to say, tell me if a particular set of, if a column in a particular set of rows is greater than a number. She could have done less than or a whole load of other aggregation operators. She's created that alert, but not only does that now work for her, by using team sharing, she was able to make sure that Bob was also able to get it. So that was the use case which this bank liked. If it's relevant to you or something similar, would love to hear from you and give you a personalised demo of Adaptable, or indeed provide you with a free, no obligation trial license. Thank you for watching.